Welcome to our MLO Pro Training Mortgage Business Webinar, Training for Success. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for signing on and taking your time to explore our web systems and our training programs and sponsorship programs that we have. This is just a general intro to the landing page here that we have. It says Best Mortgage Business Training Programs. There's an option to sign up or generate loans. This is just essentially two different buttons to either join the training systems or to join as a LO for sponsorship. You can do that, but for right now, let's just go over what we have to offer. This might be even more interesting and exciting. So first of all, this is unlimited training programs there for some of the best online trainings you can find. So as you can tell, this says that you'd be accessing MLO Pro training materials on a regular basis as multimedia materials, and this is where everything is changing. Everything is becoming multimedia. So this is meant to be for mortgage professionals who will benefit from such systems, especially, or real estate pros as well. If you're from the real estate side, don't be shy. Then you can also somehow join in and then learn more about the mortgage business and certain requirements, guidelines, and certain loan programs and marketing, business strategies, whatnot, everything. So here you'd have, for instance, pro video training videos. So this is where some of the best trainings are based on videos because it's very interactive, it's very engaging, and people just love that kind of stuff. And we got some of the best professional equipment and software and everything else, and really excellent mentors and trainers within the company. And the CEO also is extremely knowledgeable about much of the mortgage business. So then you'd also be accessing pro training presentations, and these are separate. They're not just videos. These are like PowerPoint style, which are great. Again, very interactive, non-linear. You can access them anytime, and very, very educational. We're comprising some of the best materials for you so you can be successful in the mortgage business. You'll have some of the common application forms to access, which is also essential toward the mortgage business because you have to know which one is the stacking order of the documents and all the applications and certain disclosures that must be somehow all in place. And this is all via the cloud drive. We're working over the cloud, and you'll find out more about that later. You'll have access also to PDF training brochures, and these are also very important because, again, anytime, 24/7, you can access certain materials for educational purposes, even educational podcasts and live training sessions and team support. This is what we found out that other companies may not give you enough, is that team support. We have an excellent team support mechanism, excellent knowledgeable staff that will be able to help you with certain things. Certain ones specialize more in conventional loans, while other staff members know more about private money loans, and they'll be able to help you. So you can also contact us directly here, reach us. This could be an interactive type webinar where you're already on the website, which is awesome, which means it gives you direct access to contact us anytime as some kind of a forum or so. But for right now, let's go over the first topic for the trainings for today. So if you were to go later on after the webinar, don't go right now though, because then you'd have to reload the webinar. Just click on sign up for training here. You don't have to sign up yet or anything. No, we're not asking you that yet. This is just purely educational, and we worked fairly hard on this type of educational material for the 24 basic requirements and the rules, so that these are the guidelines and requirements for the loan programs and for them to close properly and for the borrowers to get funded actually, so that they must comply by these standards. And these are universal standards of the mortgage business nowadays. So let's go over some of them. Let's not lose time. So we're always trying to be productive here. So that's what you learn here. Be productive, be efficient. So we're going to go over these. This is just, again, the first training lesson here. We're not going to go way too much into detail. We're not going to get anyone bored here. This is still interesting stuff that's useful, that's applicable. It's right there from the modern mortgage business. And these are the ones I'm going to go with right now. So the first two primary super essential requirements are the credit scores and debt to income ratios. Without those, there is no pre-qualification. So, and this is much on the conventional side of the loans. Private money loan side also can get sometimes conservative, but most of the time they don't look that much at the FICOs But on the conventional side, if you're looking to generate, be aware that of certain credit scores limits, there is a range that's acceptable by the lenders that you have to know. And the DTIs, you just have to know how to calculate them. If you have taken NMLS courses, there is much of the math there for the DTIs. You'd know how to calculate debt to income ratios, and that's essential. You can have the back end and front end ratios, and that will determine their capacity to pay. So that's the one of the C factors. You have to understand that you can look up certain formulas already online, but at the same time, right now we're just giving you the overview of the most essentials. So always have some kind of a range in mind, both for FICO scores and for the percentages values for the DTIs. So you know these are the qualifying ratios. Third one is borrower, co-borrower type standard. So you can have a co-borrower. Certainly, it's actually recommended because then it's twice as secure. So because you're combining income, so this is a combined household income, what's technically called in the mortgage business. So you have to kind of judge it by that first, and see each one of them individually. See how creditworthy they are. See their character. See their credit history. Judge their income and employment and everything else. So, but the next one is, well, marital status. That's important. If it's a married couple or single, or how they're going to be inhabiting the house, because that will determine the inhabitability, what kind of tenancy, to use the technical real estate term, because if it's a certain types of tenancy that they're going to have, that will determine the type of property and the type of loan program also that would be useful for them. Purchase or refinance, so you can well, it's either or, so it's either purchase or refinance. You have to kind of ask them directly, ask the borrower directly what they want the most, and what they can afford the most right now, and what's their most need. Always play up to their need. Then subject property, obviously, really know the property very well. What type of property it is, where it's located, and also for what type of loan that will qualify, because that will determine a lot of these strings that might be attached to it. You know, because that may also determine if there is a lien on the title also, depending on the subject property. So it depends. Just be a good judge of the subject property, and know how to assess the property also. You don't have to be doing realtor's work, but at the same time, if you are a loan officer, if you want to be a loan officer, be able to assess the property itself just enough so that it's compliant and qualifying for a certain loan program that will match the type of property. So, and this is an important point. This is a smooth segue, by the way. That's what we're doing here. It's where the type of subject property can also be owner or non-owner occupied. So, like for instance, on the conventional side, it's mostly residential owner occupied. On the private money side, usually, but not always, it's non-owner occupied for a private money loan, and could be or must be a business purpose loan. So these types of things, again, must be considered, because then if you know if it's owner or non-owner occupied, again, that's part of that compliance, because there are certain compliances where someone must live on property in order to get that qualifying loan if it's conventional or so. But do ask more questions. You're encouraged to ask more questions. If you don't understand something, you can always email us or call us, or see how you can join the training programs more and just participate. Then you have also the loan amounts conforming or jumbo, and that you can look up yourself. Again, there will be more topics and presentations videos on that later. Loan to value, extremely important. One of the most important ever ratios that you will learn is LTV. Know basically how that's calculated with the total loan amount versus the appraisal value of the home or property. So the loan term, and then interest rate, loan programs, whether it's fixed, ARM or GPM. Verify employment, of course, that's important to verify their truthful employment, and then their income amount. Got to know that also. Any kind of assets, holdings, equity, or anything else that they have, or even savings verifications. Source of funds. Obviously, got to know the source of funds, what type of funds, and then liabilities, and then R/E schedule. Okay, so this is just the basic gist of it, and then the other ones are appraisal, title report, and escrow instructions. Again, there will be separate topics, presentation videos on that. We're not going to elaborate on them too much right now. This is just a general overview of the requirements and certain guidelines for the qualification for the borrowers. So let's go over here also. The 24 basic requirements. These 24 requirements apply to most of loan programs: conventional, jumbo, FHA, VA, USDA, non-QM, private investors, commercial, business, construction, and even land loans. Based on the loan scenario, each of these requirements can cause the loan to be approved or denied. I'm just going to read through this just to help you out if you all just want to sit back, and then I can just read in case if you just feel like listening instead of reading, but that's okay. That's what makes it interactive. This is the continual of the requirements here for the basic guidelines. The Juggling Act, the training videos will explain each of the 24 requirements and their specific guidelines. In the end, you will know how to juggle them to select the program that best fits the scenario so loan can be approved. So you'll have a plethora of topics to choose from, obviously, so you have to be very well versed. This is what creates a very well-rounded, very well-educated, informed loan officer individual who will learn how to generate more loans faster and close more loans faster and thus generate more income. It's all tied together because you really want to be helpful to the borrower and you have to be extremely knowledgeable in this business. So you'll understand the connection between the requirements and the information provided on the loan application form 1003. Again, this is another continuation here. You will also learn what is needed to comply with the requirements to pre-qualify the borrowers. You can select one or many topics to learn depending on your knowledge and experience. That's true. You have to always comply by your experience, what you don't know, what you know already. So if you don't know something, always learn more of that. Don't go into something you already know. And that's just the mark of becoming super educated, very well informed, and becoming a top performer loan officer. So, and this is depending on the topic. A video can last up to 2 hours here. There are some longer ones. Again, I'm not going to go in too much into the detail here, but at the same time, you can look through it. It's already there, so which means if you go under training here and then sign up for training, that presentation is already there. So after the webinar ends, you can look through it yourself already, kind of study up on it, brush up on certain knowledge and requirements, and feel free to ask questions. We really encourage interactive questions, just like a college professor. That's a great professor who wants you to be interactive, who wants you to learn and be knowledgeable and responsible in this business, and to also become that top producer who will generate and close more loans. And that's the whole point of why we're doing this. And we do have also sponsorship programs. So these, again, you can go over later there. You can see them already under the training and sign up for training on what types of topics we'll be going over. And this is one at a time pretty much, right? So we'll be producing them sequentially. And these are super useful topics to know in the mortgage business so that you can be all compliant and at the same time a very effective loan originator. So all of this pretty much, see, there will be lots of topics to choose from. You will be able to choose certain topics accordingly, again, to what you know the most versus what you don't know the most, and also what you are interested in the most. Because certain loan officers, they have a propensity to stick with certain types of programs or with certain types of knowledge that really boosts their confidence. And it's all about confidence, people. As I'm scrolling through this, obviously, you have to be all very adaptable in the mortgage business, and you have to basically kind of ace each one of those topics, just master it. And then many times NMLS courses, programs do go over it, but we're here more about hands-on training. So this hands-on training prepares you for real-life scenarios, real mortgage business scenarios, the loan structures and the loan scenarios that you can actually qualify yourself in terms of creating these guidelines and just creating the templates, so to speak. And these templates will make it easier for you to pre-qualify and perhaps pre-approve your borrower, because now that you have everything pretty much in place, that's the whole point. You want to make sure everything, all the documents are in place, or that you know each one of those topics so well that you'll be able to inform them because you're their consultant. You can always inform them on how to act best, how to structure the loan best by disclosing all the best available options to them as a borrower. So this concludes this section for now. You can, again, always feel free to access this for the training purposes. Right now, this is, again, it's made available for free right now. We're generous enough and thoughtful enough of your education that we can provide only certain ones that are slightly more promotional for free, so that you can look at this like this. This already helps because it's such richness of details of the topics and everything that you should learn. But at the same time, we have other ones available if you want to look over them. So, like, for instance, if you access training presentations, you already will find certain ones here. So, like, for instance, this is one of our previous ones that's slightly older, but it's still up to date, still a great presentation for training to see. It says MLO training for mortgage and real estate professionals. So you can go over this also. This is very interactive. It's actually like a PowerPoint style. You can use this one also to kind of brush up on the knowledge. And it's also detailed and very useful to know. And at the same time, you can also share certain ones with other loan officers, and let them come on board. Maybe you want to help recruit them if they really love our training systems and everything, so that everything is interactive. If you're a fan of interactive learning, and if you want to be a top producer, or if you want to generate more loans and close more loans faster, and also be super knowledgeable about this stuff, then this could be a system for you. The other one, see, it's right here. This was uploaded also here. This is, again, free education that's available here for now, but we'll have other premium types of education also available behind the user portals, and that would be here. See, when someone clicks here, then you can pretty much sign up here as well, because there's going to be much more of the richness of content, all multimedia, interactive educational content for mortgage and real estate professionals. So what we have here right now is that I'm gonna basically go to this link here, and this will be the webinar link, watch webinar. So, and this is clever, so that you can kind of have the most interactive experience ever. So this, again, is part of that webinar landing page. This just explains what there is, the content and everything else. But feel free to explore the links. We left you with some great educational interactive links here, so you can explore more as to learn more about the information on the sponsorship programs as well. So feel free to click from here as well after the webinar. You don't want to do it during, because then you might get clocked out. But you can still rewatch it. It's non-linear, so the advantage of it is that you can rewatch it. So yeah, this is where you can also sign up to get paid higher commissions with more team support. You click on that also later after the webinar, so that will let you be signed up. So, like, for instance, if you click on certain things, then like, it will take you to certain areas, like over here, loan officer sign up. So this is important to know. Like, get a good orientation of our website, so that you know if you are able to be sponsored, then you can sign up easily, so that if you have the proper NMLS, DBO, MLO type license, you can get sponsored already, and then you'll have even more training privileges as a sponsored loan officer. Otherwise, feel free to join the training programs here. You can actually go from here or from the training webinar page. So it's anywhere you go. It's very clickable, it's self-explanatory, interactive. So sign up to join. You can also sign up from here, and that will take you to the sign up portal here, as you can tell. But then if I want to go back to the events, stuff like that, so you might want to just explore the website on your own, and then just make sure that you understand everything that we have to offer. But thank you all for joining this webinar. Hopefully you all found it very educational, very useful to know, and feel free to explore the website. Feel free to sign up for a more extensive training programs here after the webinar. They're all over here. It's self-explanatory. And also, if in case you're looking to generate more income, or if you're looking to be sponsored, looking for best new business opportunities in the mortgage and real estate business, then you can get sponsored here also for this mortgage broker business. So again, thank you all for listening. I appreciate your time. Good luck with any kind of loans, deals that y'all have. Feel free to ask any questions that y'all might have, and just good luck with everything.